Welcome
to Shamba Shape Up Uganda.
We are traveling all over Uganda to find hardworking farmers.
We want to celebrate them while giving them the knowledge they need
to make their farms more productive and adapt to climate change.
We want to support them to get better yields and increase their income.
We will see how farmers can benefit from our experts' advice and turn their farms around into a profitable business,
while learning from each other in so many ways.
Join us on these journeys and share in the farmers' experience
on the Shamba Shape Up
Uganda!
Wait, what is it?
No, it's off. The spider is falling.
Stop joking. This is not funny, Ford.
No, it's not funny. It's not funny. It's not funny.
I don't know why these things keep happening.
It's on your shoulder. It's on your shoulder.
Stop!
Today, we're in Kirowooza village, Mukono district, and we're visiting Ssewankabo Robert and his wife, Maria. They have 5 children and live on their 1.5-acre farm.
And on this farm, they rear 4 cows, 18 pigs, 650 broilers, and grow bananas, beans, but that's not all. They also lease 3 acres near their property where they grow maize. One son is trying his hand at rearing rabbits.
But that's not all. Have you heard of black soldier fly farming and its benefits? Stick with us and you will surely find out at the end of the episode.
Robert and Maria are farmers who live in the central region of Uganda with population pressure and not enough farmland to go around. By having their soils tested, using drought-resistant seed, planting using minimum tillage, and introducing them to BSF, they can help reverse the pressures on the environment.
What challenges or problems do you have with everything?
Chicken we sell there.
What are their problems?
Those concentrates which we buy to mix with the maize.
Yes.
They are very high.
Mr. and Mrs. Ssewankabo.
Yes.
We don't come alone as Shamba Shape Up.
Yeah.
We come with experts.
Yes.
And these experts are going to give you the knowledge and help that you need,
yes,
so that you can run your farm better.
Those people, they will help us,
yes,
to measure our soil, so that we get good crops.
But let us first go and call them, then we come back.
Okay.
Don't move away.
Okay. We just here.
Okay.
We are waiting. We are waiting.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you know that soil is alive and can die? It takes about 500 years to form 1 inch of topsoil from the bedrock. It takes a very long time to make soil. This is why it is very important to keep it healthy and fertile. One of the ways is first checking its fertility by doing a soil test. To do that, we have invited Okum Achisoferi, a soil expert from Jaba Limited, to tell us more. So, Mr. Robert, what do you want to plant in it?
I want to plant there some maize here.
Maize?
Yeah.
Mr. Okum?
I'm here to help you do soil sampling, because every crop has nutrient requirement.
Yes.
Which I'll do crop matching for maize.
How do you collect the samples of the soil? Okay.
Now, one of the methods is the zigzag method.
Yeah.
So you move in that zigzag form, meaning you have to pick like 8 to 10 sub-samples from the whole area.
You take it to the laboratory.
I'll come with a portable machine,
Yeah.
and I'm going to, by the end of the day, you'll have known your results.
To collect the soil and get the best results, it is advisable to get samples in a zigzag pattern around the farm. Yes. Usually we do a soil sample on the farm a few days before coming, but this time we're doing it differently. We're bringing the lab to the farm. Before getting to the lab, we mix the soil thoroughly and get a composite sample.
After getting our sample, which is this one, we are going to the laboratory. For maize, we normally do what we call a basic test.
Yeah.
Basic test are these nutrients that a crop requires in large quantities.
Okay.
So there are 3. That is nitrogen.
Okay.
Nitrogen is for leaves. We have phosphorus. Phosphorus is for the roots.
Okay.
And the energy. Okay. Then potassium is for the fruit itself. Okay. But again, there's what we call pH, acidity or alkalinity of the soil. Temperature that enables the plant to absorb the nutrients I've talked about. So may find now for maize, it requires slightly acidic to alkaline pH for it to absorb those nutrients from the soil.
Okay.
So it's number one, we test the pH within the 3 elements I've talked about. So she's going to start with the pH of the soil.
As she's doing that, Mr. Okumu, so
please.
what is a soil test?
The soil test is when you get a sample like this one, take the laboratory and test for the nutrients. So we test to find out which nutrients are deficient in the soil so that we can do amendment and improve that soil to fit the crop you want to do.
How often can Mr. Ssewankabo do a soil test on his farm?
It's supposed to take around 3 years to do a soil test.
How much would it cost for Mr. Ssewankabo to do a soil test?
It is 50,000 shillings.
So, what are benefits of checking this soil?
First of all, you get to know the type of crop that can suit that soil. By knowing the pH, you know that the pH suits maize.
For me, I was thinking that if I get fertilizers, I put them in the soil, I just plant anything which I want.
Fertilizers are different. There are those that we use at planting.
Okay.
There are those that we apply twice in a season, but also different quantities. Also, thirdly, the environment. It also helps because now these fertilizers have a acidifying effect. They can pollute the environment. They have that ammonium in them. So when you put them in acidic soils, for example, they acidify the soil the more. You just find yourself you're spoiling the environment, okay? But when you use the type of fertilizer, it becomes environmentally friendly.
Okay.
Yes.
When you know what to use.
You know what to use.
Soil testing can also help cut the cost of buying fertilizer. This is because Robert will only buy what he needs by following the recommendations. To get the accurate data, the sample is mixed in different elements and wait for the reaction.
Now the results are here.
Okay.
We have said our pH was recorded, 5.76.
Yes.
So our nitrogen is 1.8. Our phosphorus is less, it's even showing this negative. And then our potassium is in 400.
So what do you advise Mr. Robert to do?
Advise Mr. Robert to first work on the pH. To raise the pH, normally use alkali lime.
And it is readily available
It's readily available in the market. Though you have two types. The improved lime is one which is in granules because it works faster and can be mixed with fertilizer at the same time. It's not the case with the powdered one because the powdered one normally will give you at least 2 weeks before you can apply the fertilizer. So now the nitrogen and phosphorus. So phosphorus is low and we said it's for root development. So we need that planting mainly.
Yes.
So that the plant can get out with energy. So when you're planting, you need a fertilizer which has more phosphorus. Yes. Then now the nitrogen, you normally need it for vegetative growth. So 2 weeks after you have planted, at first weeding, that's normally after 2 weeks. You're supposed now to use a fertilizer which has nitrogen only.
So, Mr. Robert, any questions that you want to ask Mr. Okumu?
Can soil die?
Yes, soils can die, but when it's in the right hands and you have the right application, it can be improved and looking back to life.
So now that we know what our soils are lacking and we have the right fertilizer, follow me to the next stage.
Robert planted 3 acres of maize and has been growing it for his poultry farm, but the yields are low. We have invited our expert, Dr. Godfrey Kirowooza from Naro.
Getting such low yields may be due to several reasons. First, the type of seed he planted, the fertility of the soil, the spacing he uses. So now he needs to look for a higher yielding maize variety, one which is a bit drought tolerant in case we get drought, and he should use fertilizer and also observe the right spacing. Then the fertilizer, depending on the soil analysis results, will guide us on what to use.
Good thing we did a soil analysis earlier. But how would you advise?
I've looked at the results and there were 3 basic things to note. One, the pH was slightly lower than what is ideal. That means we have to add some lime to raise it to the optimum level. Then the nitrogen was also slightly lower and the phosphorus was also lower. With the low nitrogen and phosphorus, we shall use DAP because DAP has 46% phosphorus and 18% nitrogen, so it will be able to cover the deficiency. After that, I think we are going to get a very good maize variety, that is Bazooka. We plant at the right spacing, we correct the pH and add the DAP. If you use Bazooka, in an acre you can be able to get 2.5 tons to 3 tons.
Wow. In just 1 acre?
In 1 acre. So it doesn't have to plant a very big area to be able to get that.
How do I get that type of maize Bazooka?
You can get Bazooka from any agriculture outlet, or you go to Naseko, you can be able to get it. And at the end of the day, when you harvest, you are more interested in the weight of the grain.
How long it takes?
So it takes between 130 and 140 days.
This is going on really well, and I am thinking this is the right time. We do the demo. What do you think, Doctor?
Yeah, I have some maize, the Bazooka variety here. You can have a look. The fertilizer, the DAP we talked about.
Yes.
We need some lime. The lime will help us to raise the pH, because our pH was slightly lower than optimum.
Okay.
So once we have those 3, then we can be able to demonstrate.
Using the materials, let's go straight to planting. With pegs and a string, we start by measuring the rows and the lines of the maize. The rows are 75 centimeters and the lines are 50 centimeters, since we are planting 2 seeds.
Yeah, so we have our granular lime and our DAP. We are going to mix one of these, of lime, with one of DAP.
Doctor, what size of the cup do we use?
This is 250 grams.
Ah, okay.
So we mix 1 to 1.
Doctor, why do you use these gloves?
We are dealing with the fertilizer, which is a chemical. We don't want it to burn your fingers, your hands.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's always important to wash your hands after handling the fertilizer, much as you've put on the glove. Yeah, we normally use this bottle top to measure the amount of fertilizer to apply.
Okay.
Normally, if we are applying only DAP, we would add 1 bottle top.
Yeah.
But in this case, we have mixed DAP with the lime. We are going to apply 2 in each hole.
After mixing the lime and fertilizer, we apply it in the holes but cover the fertilizer with a thin layer of soil for the fertilizer not to react with the seed.
So, Robert, this is the right spacing that we have to use.
Okay.
And once you use this, you'll have an optimum number of plants per acre.
Yeah.
If the weather is good, you should be able to get 2.5 tons per acre from this.
With the right variety, Robert and Maria will harvest a lot more maize for his birds and have more to sell on the market.
Hey, Aggie.
Yeah.
How was it? How was it?
Okay.
Yes. I've just been doing the soil test, everything there.
How did it go?
Fantabulous. So, welcome back.
To Shamba Shape Up Uganda.
We are in Kirowooza village visiting Robert and Maria. We've done a soil test on their farm and we've also planted early maturing and high-yielding maize.
But we want to learn how to set up a black soldier fly project and how black soldier fly larvae can make a great concentrate for poultry while cutting down greenhouse gases.
Oh, just look at them. In the poultry business, there's a cost that takes up to 60%, and the farmer has to have it before he can bring in the day-old chicks into the brooder. That cost is the feed. Robert and Maria have been in the poultry business for a while and are curious to try out new ways to feed their birds. We have visited David Muganzi at Ento Feeds to learn about black soldier flies that can work as quality feed while cutting down greenhouse gases. What is black soldier fly?
It is in a family of houseflies,
Okay.
but the beauty about it is it does not bite. We are treating black soldier fly farming as a livestock. The entire section, what we call the entire life cycle,
Yes.
it has what we call 4 stages. The egg,
Yes.
larva, pupa, adult. They have different principles of management.
Okay. Madam Maria is a farmer. How can she use black soldier fly on her farm?
Normally, I tell poultry farmers,
Yes.
if you get poultry manure, you have maize bran, you are going to make a good recipe. You can raise quality black soldier fly.
Are there ratios?
There are ratios.
Okay.
Normally, we take a ratio of 2 to 1. For every 2 kilograms of maize bran,
Yes.
you put in 1 kilogram of dry manure. Reason 1, maize bran is a carbohydrate.
Yes.
Poultry manure is a protein to the larvae. Yes. It's just like when you're feeding your birds, especially laying birds, we normally look at the energy within the food, and that energy is normally provided by 2, the carbohydrate and then the protein.
Yes.
You get it? If you don't use good ratios when you're feeding laying birds, they normally don't give you the egg. So it is the same science here, that you have to stick to what is required if you are going to do the breeding. Now, the entire cycle takes 46 days from egg to the entire adult. So for the rearing, we have 2 systems. We have what we call the trough system and then the vertical system of rearing. For the vertical, you're using less space, but it is expensive for a farmer to start. Then for the trough, you need some more space, but it is the cheapest for the farmer to start.
Okay.
So, like as you can see around, the other side you have a bit of the trough system.
Yes, yes.
This side you have a bit of the vertical system.
Oh, like
And then also the beauty about the trough, we use less food as compared to the vertical. For the vertical, we're using a lot of food.
Okay.
You get it. But also you have realized the size of the trough matters. The troughs that you're having currently here, they are too big. Because this is 10 feet by 5 feet. We realize that when you put the larvae in the middle of the trough, when they are very young, for them to move
To the whole
to the entire side, they use a lot of energy, so some of them die as they are moving. You get it? Yeah, so we are just going to reduce on the size.
Okay.
We are going to make them 5 feet by 5 feet.
Yes, Mr. David, we've been talking about BSF as a livestock, did you say feed? Now, how important are they towards the environment?
We normally treat it as, we take the black soldier fly as a bioreactor.
Okay.
Bioreactor, we use it to manage municipal organic wastes.
Okay.
And in the long run, we are reducing on what we call the greenhouse gas emissions, like methane,
Yes, yes.
I will say.
Yes.
Because the entire process of feeding takes 2 weeks. And in the 2 weeks, the larvae are just feeding on that organic waste. And then less emissions are being released within the atmosphere.
If I have black soldier fly on my farm, I can put them where there's waste and they'll do the job for me?
Yes, because currently also it does what we call farm waste management.
Okay.
Farmers having what we call poultry manure, this is the fresh one in cages.
Yes.
Because that one is a great agent for greenhouse gases.
Yes.
So normally what we do, we help them to treat that very fast, such that the emissions are very low and minimal.
Okay.
Here also we are using cow dung,
Okay.
trying to minimize the emissions that may come out of the cow dung.
I want to ask you a question. For us farmers, we think we can feed the BSM on dodo, purples, mangoes. Can we?
I'll say that no, especially dodo. Those are leafy elements. They have what we call fiber. But how can you improve them for black soldier fly rearing?
Okay.
Maybe when you leave them to rot a bit, so that the fiber decomposes before you introduce them to the BSF.
The black soldier fly larvae are a nutritional source on the farm. They feed on organic waste, turn it into manure, and this at a minimal cost to the farmer.
The BSF larvae contains 50% protein. How can we have this on Maria and Robert's farm?
The Ento Feeds project is a great example, but now let's focus on the concentrate. How can Robert and Maria introduce it to their poultry, and what are some of the benefits? We have invited Mr. Msenero Nandi from Hatches Limited to teach us more.
Have you ever tried out using black soldier fly larvae?
Not yet. I've heard of it, but I have not
Tried it out. Okay. So I think the best way to do it, we can experiment.
Yeah, before we get to that, Nandi, kindly explain more about this BSF concentrate.
Yeah, black soldier fly is an insect. It feeds so much onto waste, and it has 3 stages before you can harvest the larvae. That's where we concentrate so much.
Maria mentioned that her concentrates, the one she's been getting, are very expensive. How do you think she can go around with this BSF concentrates?
Basing on her farm and her needs, she needs to start up a BSF unit. The beauty with this BSF, you can either feed it when it is still live. You can feed it to your birds and they will really enjoy it. And then you can still also feed it as a dry one.
Like
These dry ones, we can mash them and then we shall mix them in our maize bran for our birds.
This is the concentrate.
Exactly. You can entirely depend on this for your birds.
What is the nutritional content of the BSF concentrate?
BSF is almost 50%. And today I wanted to introduce her to something that is relatively a bit cheaper than the usual one that she has been using.
Okay.
I want to unleash some formula that you can also use while using BSF. We are formulating 100 kilos for your birds. We need broken maize. We need 30 kilograms.
Okay.
We need the soybean meal, 9 kilograms. Then we also have the black soldier fly larvae, the dry ones. You need only 40 kgs. And we need also limestone, 2 kgs. Then we also need some salt, half a kg. Then we also need some little of the premix. And this one we need 2.5 kilograms. Then we need maize bran, 16 kilos. And with that, we shall have 100% of what we need.
And Nandi,
Yes.
please tell us about the cost involved in this.
Black soldier fly larvae, the dry one is sold depending on the region where you are and depending on the market price. You know, it rhymes with silverfish because silverfish was the one they were using to make these animal feeds. But because of the dynamics around the silverfish, they dry it on the ground, they put a lot of stones and you don't get the best out of them. So that's why we are substituting now with this. We have no competition for this.
What if I want to start up the black soldier flies?
Yes.
What do I need to do?
The products that we use to produce these black soldier fly larvae are already on your farm.
Okay.
You have this chicken poop. Yes. You have the animal waste from the cows. In the kitchen there is always a lot of food that you always throw away. We can begin with that one. Now that you have identified all that you need to use on your BSF farm, you can allocate just a very small space behind there. You can use these offcuts from trees, and then you need some 5 iron sheets to shield it from the rains. And then inside, you need to put shelves where you are going to rest your troughs. Okay. And when you're done, you are going to collect off your larvae, and at the same time, you're going to feed your soil very well. Yes.
This is great. Thank you. I can see that if Maria introduced the larvae concentrate on her farm, she'll be able to make more money as in terms of profit, and also will get frost at the end of the day and introduce it to her soil, which makes the soil very fertile and also very friendly to the environment.
Madam Maria,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ssewankabo, I hope that the information that you've gotten will be beneficial for you.
Yes.
to improve your farming business.
Yes.
Good. That's
Thank
what we
you
want.
for coming.
Thank you.
And thank you for
Your advices.
Yes.
Next time you come, you will find us with like 10,000 chicks.
10,000.
Yes.
That is what we want.
Unfortunately, Mr. and Mrs. Ssewankabo and the family, we have to go and be somewhere right now. We have to run because we have to meet some other farmers and help them the way we helped you.
If you want to find out more about what you've seen on this episode, you can find it on Shamba.
Catch us on the next episode of
Shamba, Uganda!